Yeah, my name's Julian Sandy. I'm a Community Engagement Officer for Bournemouth Early Years. I work out in the communities quite a lot around children's centres, around ethnic minority groups. So I do lots of outreach events. So we do something like Family Information Days across the borough, where we take frontline services out into the community, that face-to-face contact, and chat to people. Find out what their situation's like, do they know about these services, and engage with the community, listen to them, and then link them up to any initiatives or any services that could help them. A lot of the time, a lot of people don't know what's available, and if we can help that mum or that dad, it's going to help that little one have a better start in life. So that's kind of what I do. I go around visiting a lot of communities as well. For example, the Romanian community, we've done a lot of work with them, Iranian community, Chinese community. It's taken a while to get in with them, but when we do, it's been so rewarding because the issues and problems that they face, because they don't know what's available to them, they don't know who to ask, and a lot of them are quite vulnerable. So having us there to talk to them reassures them, and a lot of the time it's really, really made a difference to them and their lives.
I understand there's going to be a festival this summer. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, the Bournemouth Family Festival this year. It's now in its third year. Last year we saw over 20,000 people in the park. It's a play day, it's a youth festival, and it's a family information day rolled into one. So it highlights all the services in Bournemouth. It showcases what we have in Bournemouth, whether it's local youth talent, to businesses, to charities, to frontline services. It's a free day out. It's amazing. So again, you can come down. There's lots of themes down there, from multicultural groups to different types of food groups, to health, to family groups, for services that are for 0 to 5s, teenagers. And we try and make it as free as possible. But the message is about promoting children's right to play, because unfortunately we're in this blame culture, ASBO culture, and it's about, well, if a child breaks a window by kicking a ball, it's called an accident, and they're playing. It's not about slapping an ASBO order on them for them not to do that again. So we're trying to, it's really to bring the whole of Bournemouth together and showcase what we've got. So this year we're increasing the stalls from 130 to 250 stalls. We've got a massive main stage. Our headliner act this year is Titan the Robot. He's a 9-foot robot who's been on stage with JLS, Rihanna, Take That. He does lots of appearances. He walks about, talks to the crowd. We've got a lot of dance groups down there, local youth bands playing all day from Bournemouth, bungee jumping, horse riding, go-kart rides, that sort of thing. So it is a packed and fun day out, and this year we're doing it the first week of summer holidays, so most people are off, and it's Thursday the 26th of July at Mary Park.
Sounds like fun, indeed. Obviously you're working with communities, just like you've said. Do you feel that sometimes there is a barrier in terms of communication, and you might possibly struggle to communicate your message across, and you feel that it's, communicating in English is not enough?
Yeah, I have found that. I mean, the ways to overcome that, I think a lot of people want pictures or very simple plain English. If you can't get the message across, you either have a translator, especially when you go to groups, if someone does speak basic English, they can translate for you. I haven't had a problem with that. But it worries me that these people that don't speak English, that go to a doctor's or something, and they don't tend to go because of the language problem. And some of the doctors don't cater for that, we've discovered. So we're working with the NHS to try and improve that. And some people become even more vulnerable because of it. So we try and communicate when we go out as best that we can, and if we can't, we will find someone that can help from that community. But like I said, a lot of the time it's very simple, plain English they can understand, and pictures and so forth, and patience. But don't feel that you're patronising, because the worst thing is is to patronise someone and they feel worse by it. A lot of things I found with different languages, because if someone talks to you in a different language is interesting, where, for example, the Polish community, they end up on a high, whereas the British language, the English language, we land on a low. So when someone ends up on a high, it sounds like it's an aggressive, because we're not used to it, it's aggressive, but it's not. They're actually just talking to you normally. And a lot of people in restaurants and so forth have discovered think that they're being rude, and actually they're not.
It is indeed.
And it's about educating. And I think we need to educate society in general a bit more about different cultures and about language. It's so important.
And just one other thing, Julian, I understand that at the moment there's been quite a bit of controversy in terms of funding and funding being cut and the local communities having to work together so that the local business in any part of the UK works together so that they can generate a specific income, out of which I understand there is a threshold that is being given to the council, so they can then in turn promote the local businesses. What do you think, from your perspective, that would be the way forward? Do you think there should be a mix and match of small community businesses, or there should be big giants? Should we keep business local? Should we give more power to the community? What's your view on that?
I think we need to give more power back to the community. I mean, I know fundings have been cut and so forth, yes, I understand that, but we all have a statutory obligation at the end of the day to help people. I don't really know so much on the business sector side, but it's definitely on the community side. All services should do their bit and go that extra step further. It doesn't always cost a lot of money, I find, because there's always somebody that knows somebody that can help. And I just think it's about pulling in all those different types of resources and working together on it, rather than going out and doing it on your own. Why reinvent the wheel when there's somebody else doing it down the road? Link up together. There's nothing worse than I hear about other groups setting up when it's mirroring something else that's happening down the road. I'm going, why are you... And then there's money being thrown at it. Why doesn't you just work together with the group that's already working and expand? Mm. And I just think there needs to be more of a network and more businesses, communities, linking up together, finding out and doing it that way. Mm. I love the way that Mary Portas is doing this stuff, changing towns at the moment through town teams. Well, I think the idea that she's got is fantastic. Bringing the community and businesses together. Well, why don't we do that for all things? Having these different teams. And we should never assume, because they know what they say about assuming, we need to listen and work up. So that's my way, and I don't think it doesn't have to cost money.
No.
It doesn't have to. I think we don't have... Yeah, that's what...
It can be
done
work
together if you work together on it. And just stop assuming that you're going to get money for doing a project when there's something happening down the road. It's about researching and pulling it together and expanding your network. If businesses all work together and charities, I find we'd be in a better place.
I find that too. Thank you very much, Julian. Thank you again.